Hey everyone, welcome to part 2 of Law of One Explained Simply. So I did say in the first part of this that I was going to do 2 parts, but I honestly think that I'm going to have to do 3 parts, maybe even 4. We'll see. It's a lot of information and content, so based off of my experience making part 1 of this, I decided to sort of go based on topics because it seems too scrambled, I feel. So this specific video today is going to be about our energy centers, the chakras. That's what the information I'm providing today, that I read off of the Law of One a few times already now, but I sort of, made it simpler, I guess, and summarized the information because, like I said, there's a lot of technical terms being used in this content. So if you're not sure what it is, do look at my first video because I explain what the Law of One is. I give some background on it. In the first part as well, I do give some more historical information on who is Ra and why, I guess more information specifically on the on Ra. This one will be more content based, so assuming you already kind of know who Ra is, this will be sort of more content based on the chakras and energy centers and on balancing our energy. This is the information that was provided in this section that I'm talking about today. So, without further ado, like I said, I'm going to be looking down at my notes because I made a lot of notes about this to read back to you. So forgive me for not looking at the screen all the time. So the following information has to do with balancing our energies. Okay, so a question was put forth to Ra about, balancing our energies. And this is what Ra sort of replied, okay? And I'm giving a summary now, right, in my own words. They said that love creates light and becomes love and light. Okay, so when you hear all these star seeds, light workers saying love and light, it's because literally that's, the essence of who we are and where we're headed to, where we're ascending to now in the 5D and beyond. So love creates light and becomes love and light. This love energy streams into a planetary sphere according to the electromagnetic web of points or nexi of entrance. Okay, so there's some technical terms there that I don't even know how to just translate that to you. But what they're saying is that this specific frequency of love, okay, and when we say love, we mean unconditional love. So there's the difference, right? And in a previous video of mine, I talked about conditional love, which is 3D, versus unconditional love, which is 5D, basically. And which you can embody, of course, in the 3D, right, as well. So this, it's an energy. Remember, love, like unconditional love, it's not just an emotion. It's literally a frequency and an energy. So this love energy, it streams into a planetary sphere according to the electromagnetic web of points or nexi of entrance. So depending where that planetary sphere is, okay, so let's say there's a light streaming, right? There's light streaming in from source. Let's say the planet is like this close. You know what I mean? Or I guess it would have to be under. I don't know how that works. But the closer it is, right, to source, it's going to be receiving more of that light. And it's going to be more available to the beings that develop on that planetary sphere. Remember that Earth is at a point, is located. We're sort of far in that sense. We're in one of the darkest parts in that sense, away from source, very dense here on this planet, very 3D. It's a great place to come and learn lessons, of course. And that's mainly the reason why Earth beings, would come here, is to learn 3D, third density lessons, soul lessons, and then graduate from that and move on and beyond. And it's like they said, and I explained this in part 1, it's not guaranteed how many cycles it'll take until a soul learns the lessons it needs. It could take, they said they can't guarantee the number of cycles. It really depends on the soul, how fast it learns. So yeah, we're sort of in a dense, dark part, and we're ascending. We're going through our own ascension process right now, and we're getting more because, the earth is not really where it was before. I mean, a lot has happened since then when it was really densely in the 3D. So we are also moving into another part of, I guess you could say, on a cosmic level, on a planetary level, we're also moving, and we are getting more access, more open access to this source energy now, this higher density energy. They say these streamings, right, these love energy, this light, these streamings are then available to the individual who, like the planet, is a web of electromagnetic energy fields with points or nexi of entrance. They keep using those terms. So it's just like what I said, right? That energy comes through, and it's available to all the beings on that planet, on that planetary sphere. So it's like us now. It's really up to you. I mean, it's available to you. Those 5D energies are already available to you. It's just up to you as a soul. Are you willing to wake up? Are you willing to do what it takes to ascend in that sense? To raise your consciousness, to bring in and anchor in this light and this raw, higher energy. Do you know what I mean? It's available. It's really just up to you. That's the whole point of being here on this free will planet. Let's see here. In a balanced individual, each energy center is balanced and functioning brightly and fully. This is basically what they're saying. The blockages of your planetary sphere cause some distortion of intelligent energy. The blockages of your planetary sphere cause some distortion of intelligent energy. The blockages of the mind-body-spirit complex further distort and unbalance this energy. So they're saying there's two things working against us. One, on a planetary level, we have blockages. So like I said earlier, right, it's where we're located. We're very far. We're kind of in the darkest, furthest part from source energy. I wish I had a whiteboard to sort of show you, give you a diagram. I will in the future do that though. I'm going to start doing some diagrams to show you what I mean, because visuals help. But, if this is source energy right here, and it's, all around, like the universe is like this, and you have a whole, this is on a small level, right? It's vast, but we're like here on the edge, you know what I mean? We're the farthest away. So that's working against us. On top of that, we've had the dark, we've had these lower reptilian sort of energies, and presence take over Earth for quite some time. We're liberating ourselves from this now, from this control that they've had on us for so long, and this enslavement, right? We are rising from that and liberating. It's a very exciting time, and Trump is really helping out a lot with that. So I will give him credit in this video as well. I always give credit where credit is due. I'm not taking political sides here. I have no interest whatsoever in political stuff, to be quite honest. It bores me. And I just don't have any interest in it. My interest is humanity, like I say time and time again. It's humanity. So whoever is the leader for that movement, and it happens to be Trump, I give my full support, and I pray as well for them to be protected and to be supported on that mission, because it's a huge mission. It's a lot that this guy's taking on, so I have huge respect for him. And I thank him for what he's doing, and I'm very excited for what this new Earth will be, once it's all said and done. It's very exciting. So apart from those blockages on our planetary sphere, right? So an artificial control grid was put by the reptilians for so long using electromagnetics and things. They're very advanced, remember. They have knowledge of energy and how to use energy, how to work energy. So they did this using frequencies, using all kinds of things, technologies. And so that's another thing that was working against us, okay? And that's also where we're sort of freeing ourselves from that now too. And on top of that, they say blockages of the mind-body-spirit complex, which is the soul, essentially. When we come here on Earth, and I talked about this already in part 1 of this, of Law of One Explained Simply. So check it out. Okay, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but we do get distortions applied as soon as we enter this realm, this plane. When we're born, we're already conditioned, right? From our parents, from school, from teachers, from society, from everywhere. We're controlled, and we're conditioned, and we're programmed, we're brainwashed. All of it. So we develop all these different distortions. I call them filters. Imagine putting different lenses on for, you know what I mean? It's everyone reacts differently to different situations. It's remember, there's no negative or positive, okay? And Ra always talks about this. There's no, in that sense, there's no good or bad, I should say. An experience is an experience. It's all about how you respond. Okay, you are in control. This is what they have lied to us about. We are the ones in control. We are the ones who create our reality. We are creator beings, okay? We're like gods and goddesses. I call us angelic humans because that's really who we are, and we have all these capabilities and powers, and we're now reactivating our DNA as well at the same time. You're going to be shocked at how amazing we're going to be when we're fully activated. We were two stranded, and we're in the process of reactivating up to 12 strands. So just imagine the abilities and things that are going to activate at the same time. All right, so they say the nature of your physical vehicle, meaning the body, the nature of your body, is that there is a magnetic field, positive and negative, in complex patterns about the shells of your vehicle. So they're telling us in our body already, in the shells is the outside, right? The outer part of your body. So we have in our skin and the outer part of our body, we have this positive and negative, but very complex patterns of electromagnetic fields around us. This is the aura, right? This is the different, even the etheric bodies that we have, it's all tied in. They say the left portion of the head region of most entities is of a negative polarity. So the left portion is negative polarity, while the right side is more positive. So over time, we have been controlled to sort of activate only one side of our brain. Think about that. Just that logical, very like sheep hive mentality, you know. That's what's been encouraged through society in general for so long. While in reality, it should be a balance of both sides. And Ross said this, like the perfect combination is, you know, abstract thought is necessary, and it needs to be a combination of basically your rational and your intuitive mind, which is the both sides balanced. They do mention that there are 8 densities. They say it is necessary for graduation across densities, right? So going from 3rd to 4th to 5th, like that, ascending. It's necessary for graduation across densities for the primary energy centers to be functioning in such a way as to communicate with intelligent infinity and to appreciate and bask in this light in all of its purity. Okay, so the primary energy centers. And I'm going to explain to you what those primary energy centers are in reference to color and all of that. Okay, so I will talk about that in just a second. But what they're saying is those primary energy centers, right? The red one, the orange one, the yellow, like those primary ones, the chakras, they need to be functioning in such a way as to communicate with intelligent infinity. And when they refer to intelligent infinity, they're talking about source, infinite creator, God, I guess you could say. But God, right, is not a person. Remember this. It's just a consciousness of all. And it's pure love. Pure love and pure light. So those energy centers, those chakras, need to be functioning, like functioning good. In order to graduate, in order to move from one density to the next to the next. This is why it's so important right now to make sure that your chakras, you're unblocking them, you're doing that inner work. It's not just about what you eat, it's also about healing, like emotional healing, going in, doing that shadow work, facing those inner demons, understanding that, you know, loving yourself, having that moment where you break down and cry and realize and see that inner child in you and hug yourself and you're like, oh my God, I see you, you know, I see you and I love you and I'm so sorry for everything you went through and I love you and I'm proud of you for everything that you've done. If you haven't had a moment like, you know, of course, this is if you had a traumatic childhood, maybe, I don't know. I did. I had a traumatic childhood. I also had a very intense experience where I loved myself and I saw myself as that little girl again. And it was just a crazy healing moment for me. And it happened, of course, right? Like at 2 a.m. or something, I woke up to go to the bathroom. It's always when I wake up to go to the bathroom, all this crazy stuff happens. But in this case, that's what happened. And I broke down. I was crying. I was super, super emotional. I had so many blocked chakras when I started my awakening. You guys have no idea. I mean, I just grew up in very toxic conditions as a child. I ate very toxic foods growing up. I didn't, you know, yes, I grew up in a nice house and things like that. But in terms of food, no one really cared. Like, we ate all the processed foods you can imagine is what I grew up on. I didn't even drink water. I literally drank Coke and like canned soda all the time. Just processed food, like no vegetables, no fresh fruit, you know, very minimal, no exercise, things like that. So I definitely changed my life on my own when I was 18. That came from within, because I'm just, you know, I can only let myself go so far before I need to turn things around. I just can't let myself go to that point. But it took a lot and I did it. But the point being is that you have to do this work. Like, you might have a lot of blockages that you're not even aware of. And it takes time. Sometimes you have to be silent with yourself. It's important to meditate, you guys. Even if that's just for, you know, let's say 2 minutes a day, okay? Start with that if you're not somebody who likes to meditate. And I'm not saying every day, but do it at least once a week or something. Like, start like that, like a 5-minute meditation once a week. You'll be shocked at the things that you feel and come across. Like, it's important to go within, you guys. You'll find, you know, the different places where you have blockages. You'll know. It just, you know, but you need to take the time to go within and discover that on your own. Back to this. Sorry, it's because I like to like mention stuff and then relate it to now instead of, you know. So they say, however, to fully activate each energy center is the mastery of few. So it's hard. It's not something that is easy to do. For each center has a variable speed of rotation or activity. This can be seen in relation to color and brilliance. So I did put out a video, I don't know, a couple months back, I think, about chakras. Explaining about the chakras, and I explained how it's actually like a disc or wheel, and it spins, and each one spins at a different speed, and based on that speed, it you know, shows as a specific color. Because remember that color, what you're seeing is, it's just, you know, energy at a specific speed, at a very specific speed, will produce a specific color. That's what it is. Everything is energy. When I say everything's energy, I really mean it. Music, you know, color, everything is energy. It's frequency. So that's what they're saying. They're saying the more strongly the will of the entity concentrates upon and refines or purifies each energy center, the more brilliant, rotationally active each energy center will be. So they're saying it's on you, right? If you have the will, like if you have a strong enough will to work on yourself and unblock those chakras and make them brilliant and vibrating good, right? If you have that intention to do that, then, you know, the more brilliant rotationally active each energy center will be. Like, it's going to happen. So you have to do the things that, you know, you need to do, though, in order to get it to that point. You know, healing from within is definitely one. Your diet is another, and I'm not going to go into detail now because it'll take way too much time. But stay away from gluten. Okay, get it out of your diet. Sodas, you know, anything highly acidic, get it out of your diet. Go back to eating fresh, the way humans are meant to be eating. Less red meat. If you can cut it out, red meat of your diet, do it. You know, you can still have your chicken and fish and eggs and lighter, you know, leaner proteins that your body can process that are lighter for you, because you need lighter foods. And of course, fresh vegetables and fruits and just high vibration foods to help you out. Okay, get sunshine. Okay, go out there. You know, don't feed into fear. Don't be one of those people that's like masked constantly and, you know, in fear mode about, like, don't be one of those people. You know what I mean? You have to live life. You know, you're going to reflect that back on yourself, and basically. They say it's not necessary to have all energy centers activated in order to be awake or self-aware. It's not necessary. So you don't have to have them all activated. I guess they are saying you could have some, you could have like until your third eye, like you could have until here fully activated, I guess, and then still working on this and this, your third eye and your crown. And still be awake, perhaps. I guess that's possible, is what they're saying. So that's cool. They're saying the key to balance is unstudied, spontaneous, and honest response of entities towards experiences. Thus, using experience to the utmost, then applying the balancing exercises and achieving the proper attitude for the most purified spectrum of energy center manifestation in violet ray. So basically, in a nutshell, be authentic to yourself and to your life and your experiences. Be raw, like be, not raw, like raw, like R-A-W, be raw in your responses and in your being. You know what I mean? Like, don't be fake. Don't be a hypocrite. Be authentic. Be authentic to who you are. Remember, we are each very, very different. Don't try and be like anyone else. Just be you. And don't put yourself down if a part of you is like impatient or you tend to speak a certain way. Like, if that's who you are, but you're doing everything with good intention. I talk about intention a lot because it's all about that. That's what creates the energy. If you do something like, for example, let me just give you an idea here. Let's say that you see a homeless person right outside and you're like, oh, at the same time, you see like a bunch of people there that okay, from your social circle. And you're like, oh, I really, really want to impress these people. I'm going to go and buy this homeless guy a meal to impress them. I'm going to take a bunch of pictures and some videos and make it public all over social media. Well, while you're doing a good deed, you're buying a meal for this homeless guy. Your intention is not to genuinely help this homeless guy. You're just seeing an opportunity to feed your ego. Big difference. So the energy you're putting out is not the same as somebody who, let's say he saw the homeless guy and there's no one else around, literally, and they still, and they don't do it. They don't take the pictures after. They don't do any of that stuff. They don't tell anyone even about it. They just, out of the goodness of their heart, wanting to help somebody, goes and gets them a meal and gives them $100, you know what I mean? Or puts them in a shelter or does something to help this person, just genuinely. That sets a way different energy out to the universe. And that brings a whole different karma back to you as well. So that's what they say about balancing. Red, yellow, and blue energy centers are called primary centers. So now I'm going to explain really quick earlier what I was saying about the primary centers. So red, yellow, and blue. And this is because they signify activity of a primary nature. So the red ray represents foundation. Orange ray represents movement towards the yellow ray, which is the ray of self-awareness and interaction. The green ray is movement through various experiences of energy exchanges having to do with compassion and all forgiving, which is unconditional love. The blue ray is co-creator. So they say the red ray center, being the lowest root energy center, the root chakra, or of the physical vehicle of our body, will always have the first opportunity to react to any experience. Think about that. So your root chakra, any experience that you have here, your root chakra is the first. It's always going to have that first opportunity to react. Okay, they're saying sorry. I need to flip the page. They're saying this instinct is strongest, and once balanced, much is open to the seeker. So they're talking about the root chakra. Once this instinct in the root chakra is strongest, and once it's balanced, a lot more. They say much is open to the seeker. So you. Each of the energy centers of the physical complex may be seen to have a distinctive crystalline structure in the more developed entity. So this is cool, guys. I want to talk about this really quick because I actually did talk about this in one of my previous videos. And I said that we have crystals in our body, in our DNA, like, you know, what did I call them? Quantum crystals? Quantum crystals. And I said that, and that was kind of going off more instinct and, you know, inner knowledge that I received rather than somewhere I read it even or found that, because I mean, I've never really heard that anywhere. And it's funny how, and I only picked this up this time around when I read it. This is why you have to read it many times, guys. Like, you can't just read it once. You're not going to get it fully. I still have to read it, even after all this. I still have to read it a few more times because there's many things that I'm still not entirely sure about. When I read it, I don't fully grasp. Okay, so yeah, what they're saying is that the energy center, so our chakras, have a crystalline structure within them that, let's see here. Okay, so we all have it. It's just that the more developed you are as an entity, right, the higher your vibration, the more distinctive your crystalline structure is, like that it can be seen in that sense. So, you know, it has to be activated. I did also talk about this in one of my previous videos, how we're shifting from carbon to crystalline. Like literally our physical bodies are shifting as well. And that's going to cause a lot of changes. This is why I talk about changing your diet, because it's going to help with this transition. It's something that we're going to go through, like we have to. And even your skin, like everything is changing. Your DNA is activating, things like that. And so these crystals, these quantum crystals, are also activating within our bloodstream, I feel, within our, like they said, chakras, the energy centers. And it's a crystalline structure that's seen. So that's very cool. They say each will be unique, similar to snowflakes. They gave that analogy of snowflakes, and that's cool because we are so different. Each and every one of us is unique. No, there's not one person who's like another person, the same. You might be similar, but you're not the same. So we have to really embrace that about ourselves, like embrace that authenticity, that uniqueness about you that makes you different, that makes you you. Don't shun the differences, embrace the differences. They say... they give some description of what these different chakras look like. Okay, so the red chakra has the shape of like a spoked wheel. So imagine just that circle with the spokes sort of going, you know, out of it. The orange looks kind of like a 3-petal flower. Oh, it just started drizzling. That's cool. Orange is a 3-petal flower shape. Okay. Yellow is sort of a star shape, like a rounded, but it has many, they call them, what do they call them here? Facets, many facets, and it's sort of a star shape. It's a star shape. The green is a lotus shape, and they say the number of points of crystalline structure depend upon the strength of this center. So it depends from person to person. It varies based on the strength of that person's green energy center, but it's sort of a lotus shape. The blue has, they say, about 100 facets and is great flashing brilliance. So it has like just has a lot of different facets, or like points, those different points. And it's just really bright. It has great flashing brilliance. I guess it would be hard to even look at it because it's such a bright blue. The indigo is a simpler triangle or 3-petaled flower shape, so similar, I guess, to the orange. And violet is a 1,000-petaled shape. They said the sum of the mind-body-spirit complex distortion totality. So the violet one is intense for sure, and 1,000-petaled. Wow. Okay. And so 30 minutes. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about one more thing here that Ra does say. Ra says the negative, okay, so they're talking about entities who are more negatively oriented, I guess, okay? Their polarity is more negative. So Ra says the negative will use the 3 lower centers for separation from and control over others by sexual means, by personal assertion, and by action in your societies. Contrary-wise, the positive-oriented entity will be transmuting strong red ray sexual energy into green ray energy transfers and radiation in blue and indigo, and will be similarly transmuting selfhood and place in society into energy transfer situations in which the entity may merge with and serve others, and then finally radiate unto others without expecting any transfer in return. I know that was a bit long. I had to read it all in one though. So they're comparing the negative and the positively oriented beings, us humans, okay? And I felt the need to really focus on this at the end of this video, because it's really in relation to, look at the Cabal, look at the Illuminati and things that they've been doing, these satanic cults. They are literally doing this. The negative, listen to this one more time. The negative will use the 3 lower centers for separation from and control over others by sexual means. So think of the media, right? The Cabal, they put out all these music videos with like crazy sexual scenes. They normalize pedophilia. They normalize, like bondage and all of these kinds of weird things. It's just it's very sexual. And they're all about separation, of course, right? They're the ones who are leading this entire thing, of division, of the riots everywhere. I mean, this is all instigated by them. You'll know what I mean. And so, yeah, the negative will use the 3 lower centers for separation from and control over others by sexual means, by personal assertion, and by action in your societies. So these are people in high places who have influence, right? Contrary-wise, the positively oriented entity will be transmuting strong red ray sexual energy into green ray energy transfers. Think about that. I'm going to stop there for a second. That's what these light workers and starseeds are doing. We transmute energy. So this imbalanced root chakra energy that has been imposed, basically, that has been created in our society by the Cabal, right? Through many different ways. It's really imbalanced the chakras of the major populations to the point where they don't even know. It's just generation after generation after generation. It's like embedded in the DNA. So this requires external help, which is why we came in. And this is what we're doing. We're transmuting that imbalanced, strong red ray sexual energy into green ray energy, heart-based, right? We're neutralizing, balancing it. And, we're basically showing others by being how to be a service of others entity as opposed to service to self. Okay? We need to show this and teach this by being this. This is what we do. It comes naturally to us to just serve others and be of service to others. It's not something we need to try. It's something, this is why we come from these higher dimensions as light workers, as starseeds, is to show the way. Just like Jesus did, just like all of these past, higher dimensional beings tried to do when they came. Let's see here. Yeah, so I'm going to end this video there, guys. I'm going to end it there. I will definitely make a part 3, so I need a few days, maybe a week or so, to put that together for you guys. But yeah, I just wanted to share that information to give you guys a better idea of the content regarding chakras, regarding, our bodies. I mean, this is our bodies. It's important to be aware. And I feel like if this information is coming from a higher dimensional being, then maybe you'll take it more seriously, or it'll be more valid for you. I don't know, but I really enjoy reading The Law of One. It gives me so much insightful information that it helps me answer so many questions that I have about so many things. So, but I get that it's also complex and not everyone can grasp the content the same way. So, it's just my way of helping. I like to put out information to raise consciousness. This is what I do. I raise consciousness. Okay, so the information I'm putting out is being put out with a lot of love and good intentions. So if you resonate with it, please do share the information. I'm an activist, definitely, of the Save Our Children, of anything that has to do with liberating humanity and humanity's ascension to 5D. I'm all about that. So I have a great group on Facebook. Please take a look at it. It's called Truth Seekers and Spreaders 5D Earth Knowledge. It's growing fast. It's an amazing group. We share a lot of information in there. No censors or anything. It's totally freedom of speech. And I have my page on Facebook, Warriors of the Light, as well as my other page, with my name, Tara Stars Gumucio. And I'm on Instagram as well, tara.stars with a Z, 1111. So yeah, please share this if this resonates, to get this information out there more and help people, other beings, get access to this information. And it might help activate somebody. It might help somebody, right, in some way. So please do that. And I'm sending you guys a lot of love and light. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.